tutorial. I am the Rum Soaked Pirate. So today I will be showing you guys how to create a logo in Illustrator step by step. I have selected a group of 6 logos which are very basic, um, but nevertheless, if you're advanced, then this might not apply to you. But if you're learning, you're a student, you're trying to get your hands, or your feet wet with Photoshop, I mean Illustrator, my apologies. This is where you can begin. So here we go. I'm gonna press on the icon. You cannot see it. I have a bunch of icons in here, but it's gonna bounce around. This is the new Illustrator 2025. Okay, the way this works is, depending on your machine, you can use either Control or Command. I'm using Apple, so I sometimes say Control just because of the habit, but it's usually Command. Alt is Option. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to click on Open. I'm going to go to my downloads, and I have selected these logos. You got to let it load. What you're going to do is first you're going to press Command or Control minus to zoom out. Or if you press Control or Command 0, it focuses, but this is too big. So we're going to Command minus, minus, minus right around there. I am not going to shrink it to the size of my board. You see, this is my board here, that square. I don't want it there. I just want to work on the sheets. So with that selected, I'm going to come over here to the opacity. I'm going to drag it down just a bit. Alright, because I do want to see my lines clearly. And then I'm going to press the space bar. You see I get a hand. I'm going to move over and I'm going to click here and I'm going to move this over. Okay, because I don't want that. You see the confusion with the highlight and everything. I don't want that. I just want to work off to the side real quick. So I'm going to set it here. I'm going to click on my layers and I'm going to lock this. Okay, next I'm going to add a new layer. It says your new layer right here. You get it right here. Click on it. And we're going to take our space bar. Space bar lets you do this with a mouse, with the Apple mouse. I can move like this freely with the scroll of the mouse, of the Apple mouse. But just for sakes of tutorial, I'm going to press the space bar and move this here. Right? And I'm going to press Command plus. We're going to start with Nike. So there are two tools that you should familiarize yourself with, which is the pen tool over here and the curvature tool. In situations where your logo has a lot of curves like this one, I would go with this tool. Okay, so I'm going to go with the curvature. I'm going to click my first point here. I'm going to click my second point. Let me press Command plus to get very close, and I'm going to click once here. I'm going to hold it down to where I want it, and as I move along, you'll notice that it starts creating a curve for me. So you want to make sure that when you're replicating a logo for somebody, that you always take your time and make sure it's perfect. Okay, I'm press Command Z to go back. I didn't like the way that curve ended. I'm going to click here, double click, and now I get a straight. Did it work? No, it's still curving. I'm going to double click. I should get a straight line. Here we go. And this is going to give me a straight line. So whenever you're switching in this tool to a straight line, guys, double click. So I want this all the way over here. Is it that straight? So this line is not straight at all. So let's take our time with this. Let's double click here. Here, double click. Double click. Double click. Double click. Double click. And finally double click here. And then come back the same way. Double click. There's gonna come a point where you guys are designing that the color is gonna get in your way. It doesn't matter, just come over here and just press this and it'll take it off. Okay, so let's keep going. Double click. So as you can see, this is getting done pretty fast. And here I'm gonna keep using the curvature tool. So I'm gonna be very careful with my edges. Remember, a lot of companies, when you're working on their logo, they want it to be very precise. If they're trusting you with it, they want you to be very precise with how you make it. They have certain dimensions that they want met, certain curves that have to be perfect, okay? So we have to treat this very carefully. Double click here and I close it here. Okay. Now, if there's something you don't like, if you switch to this tool here, the direct selection, you can come in and move things around, okay? Oops. So actually I have to click it once and then move it. I mean, I wouldn't complain too much about this, but let me zoom in closely. You'll notice in most of my videos, guys, I am a perfectionist, so the littlest things may bother me, and I will go back and fix it. So, for purposes of tutorial, the Nike Sun is done. All I gotta do is give it any color. So I'll double click here. I'll turn it black. Okay. Why did it choose white? I don't know why, but I want it black. Okay, and I'm gonna move it out the way. Right, that one's done. Let's do one more and then we'll end the video. So we got Nike. Let's do a more difficult one from the bottom. Let's try this one out. So in this one you have two phases. So I'm gonna lock this layer. I'm gonna add a new layer. Click on the circle next to it to make sure that I'm on the correct layer. So in this one I'm gonna turn off my color right away. I'm gonna use my curvature tool. Click on that. Command plus. Hold the space bar, click and drag. So here we go. I'm gonna start this one this way. Okay, one. Double click. It didn't work. You'll notice because you'll see the curve pop up. Double click. Double click. Sometimes it does not take. I think that's just the Illustrator thing. Here we go. I'm gonna make this nice little curve here as perfect as I can. Double click there. Double click here. Double click here. Space bar, click and drag. Double click here. Now I'm gonna zoom out. I wanna make sure I get this curve as precise as possible. So let's see what we're gonna get. We're gonna start here. I think I went too far out. Okay, so we're gonna go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so all I'm doing is following the line as closely as possible. And I'm gonna finally double click here, and that one is done. What I am gonna do is I am gonna unlock the first layer. Actually, you know what, let's not do that just yet. Let's add a new layer, and in this layer we're gonna do the inside part. So let's lock the part below, and we're gonna do this one now. So the same thing. In this case, I'm gonna use the pen tool so you guys can see how that works too, because it's more straight lines than curves. So with this one is a bit more faster. So you just click once, twice, click here. I'm going to zoom in to make sure that I can get these curves here. So with this one, guys, if you click, you'll get straight lines, but if you click and drag, you get curves, okay? So you can use this one too for curves. You just have to be a little bit more careful, okay? Except when it comes to these parts, I don't have to double click. I just click once, okay? Oops. Command Z. I'm gonna come back here. Click right in the middle, stretch that out. Click right here and then here. Actually, that should have worked a little better for me. Hold on. Here we go, right there. So each tool has its advantage. In this case, the pen tool is very good. It's one of the original tools. The curvature is fairly new, but it does a great job. Again, if it has more curves for me, this is where I would switch to that tool. But in this case, I can't complain. It's going fairly well. Guys, you have to have patience. Sometimes you will run into issues, especially when they do updates. Be patient, try to figure things out, don't give up. I know it's frustrating sometimes, but believe me, it's worth the effort to not give up, okay? Um it's happened to me a couple of times. I'm doing a tutorial, they did an update, the tool doesn't work, and I get fairly angry at it, but I still try to persevere because this is part of my job, okay? So this one, I'm gonna curve it right around here. Stop right here. Here, space bar. Click here. Here. So with this one, I'm gonna click right in the middle, pull it, and then click right over. And I'm just gonna click right here. 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 Click and drag here, and finally end up. Nope, that's not good. This is what I mean about being a perfectionist, guys. In this job, it goes very well. Okay, so now that we're done, I'm going to press Command minus a few times so I can see what I have. I'm going to unlock my layer and unlock my base layer. With this one selected, your layer 1, you're going to increase your colors again. Oops. Why did it do that? Let's see what's happening here. Here we go. No. Let's see. Sometimes this happens. I don't understand why it happens. But sometimes it will not let you. Have to like mess around in order to increase the opacity. There we go. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lock this right back up because I don't want to mess with it no more. I'm gonna take those two. I'm gonna move them over. So I'm gonna take these two. I'm gonna move them over. What is up with this? Hold on. See what I mean? These are the things that I'm talking about that get you, that drive you crazy. I'm supposed to be able to move this, but it's not moving. I wonder why. That's very weird. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to take the background. I'm going to take my color sampler and I'm going to sample the direct color. Click off. I'm going to select my top one. Select the correct color. And here we go. So you guys can see in a matter of minutes, we've managed to get 2 logos done with patience. You guys feel free to try this out. The reason people do this, guys, the reason we use Illustrator is because there's gonna come a time where you guys are gonna use, or the company that you're designing for is gonna use this logo at a giant capacity, which means if I zoom into this original one here, you guys are gonna see what's gonna happen. Okay, imagine if I put that on a billboard. From a distance, it might not be noticeable, but the client will notice that it might not work for them for the purpose that they want. However, if we look at this one that the original, and then use them into the original one over here. Actually, let me bring it down next to it so you guys can see it side by side. And the Nike is locked. Let me unlock this, move it down. Okay, so this is why they do this, because now I can zoom into this Nike one that I made compared to the other one. Look at this. You see how perfect that edge is instead of that being all pixelated? And then we're going to come down to the other one so we can see the difference too. Okay, side by side. They can print this as big as possible. Right now we're at 400%. Right? I can keep going. This is 1200% of the original size, and those lines are perfect. Okay, this is why we create this in Illustrator. Sometimes it seems redundant to people that don't understand. They'll just say, why don't you just download it? You can, and it might be easy to use on a website or something that's not going to get printed large. But in this case, this makes a great illustration side by side. Even from a distance, you can see the sharpness. Okay. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Again, I am the Rum Soaked Pirate. I appreciate you guys looking at my videos. Please like and subscribe. If you want to see anything done, suggest it. If I don't know how to do it, we'll figure it out together, okay? Have a great day and drink up me hearties, yo ho.